What they're printing is absolute nonsense. They are literally jumping on the back of a bandwagon to get people to click on their website by stoking racial tension.
A fake name is circulating online in connection with the alleged Southport attacker. Merseyside Police have confirmed with Times Radio that this is not the name of the 17-year-old suspect. So why is it being spread online?
Obviously, when attacks like this happen, everybody's talking about it, everybody's concerned, everybody wants to know as much as possible. And this is great because it gets people talking. It also has a negative side insofar as it makes it very easy for people to jump on the bandwagon to attract attention towards their website, towards their supposed news channels, towards whatever they want. So the first thing I do when I see information like this is I go looking for the source. And last night, the information came up around this supposed teenager called Al-Shakati. So first things first, nobody should have that name. And that's primarily because he's 17. And in this country, 17-year-olds are minors. And according to the Crown Prosecution Service, you cannot legally identify a minor until after the process is done, so after the legal process is done. So then we go looking at who does have that name. And the first person I find is this Channel3 News website. Their Twitter claims they're in the US, their website says they're in the US, but then you scroll through their terms and conditions and you find that they list no jurisdiction. Now in the States, most websites will list their legal terms and conditions saying what jurisdiction, what state they're in, because each state's laws are slightly different. This one does not, which tells me a lot about where they may or may not be. It's highly unlikely they are in the US at this point. Next step is to go and find the journalists. And this website has no named journalists. Another red flag, because most news outlets have actual people working for them. So the next step is their YouTube channel. If you start searching by oldest posts first, you find that 12 years ago, they were posting very, very amateurish videos of a couple of young Russian lads bezzing around fields in cars. And at some point between then and now, it's become Channel 3 News. So we now know that the only place posting this is not a news outlet. It has no named journalists. It's not where it claims to be. It's apparently run by some random Russian lads, and they've got no legal recourse to be using someone's name. All of that together tells you that what they're printing is absolute nonsense. They are literally jumping on the back of a bandwagon to get people to click on their website by stoking racial tension.
Channel 3 Now has already amassed nearly 2 million views for their post linking the Southport suspect to the fake name. What is the sort of potential punishments that people could face for reporting on the suspected identity?
It comes down to contempt of court. It doesn't sound very serious, but it carries its own charge, and you can either you or your publication can be fined, and you can also end up in prison for contempt of court if they feel that what you've done has affected the trial negatively enough.
Merseyside Police have provided the following statement. A name has been shared on social media in connection with the suspect in the incident in Southport. This name is incorrect, and we would urge people not to speculate on details of the incident while the investigation is ongoing. Times Radio is awaiting comment from Channel 3 Now.
I came here to pay my respects to the victims and families who are going through raw pain and grief that most of us can't imagine. I can't imagine as a dad myself. To get a briefing from the Chief Constable and the emergency services about the ongoing investigation, but also importantly, to have the opportunity to say to those that were responding yesterday from the emergency services, to say a personal thank you to them and to shake their hand and to say that as Prime Minister, on behalf of the country, we are grateful for what they did. They, of course, say that they will respond, they're professionals, to anything, but there's no pretending that what they had to respond to yesterday was ordinary. It was very, very difficult of them. They were absolutely professional, and it was important for me to come and say simple words, thank you.
You touched on it before, but as a father, does the nature of this incident touch a particular nerve with you personally and with the rest of the country?
I think it touches a nerve with the whole country. It's awful to contemplate what happened, to hear for myself the experiences of the first responders, what they had to deal with. It's really hard to take in for anybody. It's not what any of them came to work for, but of course they're professionals and they deal with it. I think about the families, the friends, the loved ones, those directly impacted, and of course the wider community here. But there's no pretending, I think, that anybody in the country is not untouched by what happened yesterday.
You've talked about making tackling knife crime a moral mission for your government. Is anything going to change? Is anything going to happen as a result of what happened yesterday?
I am very worried about high levels of knife crime, and I'm absolutely determined that my government will get to grips with it. But today is not the time for politics. Today is the time to focus entirely on the families who are going through such pain and grief, and on the wider community, and of course a time to say thank you to those that responded yesterday in the most awful of circumstances.